So I'm not gonna lie, one of the creepiest things to me growing up was Slenderman. Just his appearance alone and the way he follows behind you in the woods and just stalks you, I don't know. Something about it just gave me the creeps. But I started thinking the other day, you know what? Is Slenderman actually real, or is he just another urban legend? Let's find out. So Slenderman is described as a freakishly large and thin man with incredibly long arms and legs, like freaky long arms and legs. His face is all white with no facial features, and he dresses in a black suit. And if that's not creepy enough, he also has some giant tentacles that pop out of his back. Ugh. Now, it's said that Slenderman lives in the woods and preys on children. Now, his method for getting his victims is pretty unique, and it's definitely different than most mainstream urban legend monsters out there. What Slenderman does is he kind of stands off and stalks his victims, just far enough so that they can still see him, but just out of reach too. Now, he doesn't just stalk his victims for a few days and strikes. Sometimes he can stalk them for months and even years. Now, during this time, it's said that this stalking drives the victims mad and puts them in a state of constant paranoia and constant fear because they know the Slenderman is just right there watching. Now, it's said that Slenderman finally attacks when you eventually let your guard down. And this might be after a whole year of you being stalked. And at that point, it's said that some people are just too tired to even fight it. They completely lose their will, and they just let Slenderman take them. And what Slenderman does with you is, it's kind of an unknown, but one of the most popular theories out there is that Slenderman takes you into the woods and impales you onto a tree and pulls out your organs. Now, there are many differing opinions as to what Slenderman can actually do, what supernatural abilities he actually has. But here are just a few common ones that most people tend to agree on. Number one is tentacles. Yes, as I said before, he can sprout out long black tentacles from his back. I'm not sure what he uses these tentacles for, but honestly, I don't really want to know. Number two, invisibility. And it's not just invisibility where, he disappears, you can't see where he is. It's more of a selective invisibility, meaning only his victims can see him, which just adds to the madness and to the paranoia that is being a victim of Slenderman. Number three is camouflage, and not like camouflage like hunters wear. It said he can actually shift into a normal-looking person to fit his surroundings. Number four is contagion, and this is kind of a two-part thing, but it's said that Slenderman is almost like a disease, so if one person is seeing him, then friends of that person might start seeing him as well, and it kind of spreads like that. And not only that, Slenderman can make you actually very sick, apparently, with excessive coughing and even bleeding out of your nose, ears, and mouth. And even your eyes, which is so disturbing. And the fifth supernatural ability that he has is teleportation. And when people talk about Slenderman, they rarely describe him as something that moves, something that walks. He more so just stands there. And when you turn away and look back, he teleports closer. So you never really see him walking, or at least that's what people claim online. Now, back in 2009, the first pictures of Slenderman were posted onto a small photography forum with the caption, "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them. But its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comfort us at the same time." Now, from there on, speculation about this supernatural being spread all across the internet and all across forums and YouTubes, and a lot of people seem to be talking about it, with one of the most popular forums obviously being Creepypasta. Now, from there, it just kept gaining more and more traction, and it probably hit its peak popularity in 2012 with the release of Slender, the 8 Pages. Now, this video game was downloaded over 2 million times, and it was crazy popular. Everyone was playing it at the time. Now, over the next 2 years, Slenderman would be in more video games, more movies, more YouTube videos, and the popularity kind of held out, and people were still very interested. But in 2014, the urban legend took an incredibly dark turn into real life.
Breaking news, a 12-year-old girl is stabbed.
The girl was lured to the area by 2 of her classmates, who allegedly stabbed her 19 times. The girls had hoped the attack would earn them a home in Slender Man's mansion. Slender Man is a fictional horror character.
Two 12-year-old girls lured their friend into the woods, pinned her down, and stabbed her over 19 times. Now, when questioned about why they did this, they claimed it was to impress Slenderman. And they said they were so afraid that Slenderman was going to kill their family, them and their family actually, that they felt like they had to do this. Now, miraculously, the girl who was stabbed 19 times somehow managed to survive. But this was definitely still one of the darkest days in the Slenderman urban legend's history. After all this, is Slenderman real? Well, the answer is no. The original form where the first pictures of Slenderman originated from was actually a Photoshop form. Now, the man who posted this picture's name is Eric Knudsen. Sorry, I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. And he actually admitted that the picture was photoshopped. And not only was it photoshopped, it was actually photoshopped for a Photoshop contest. So the original picture that this whole legend is based off of is fake. Now, how do you explain the stabbing? What else could have drove those two 12-year-old girls to actually commit such a horrible crime and blame it on Slenderman? Well, it was actually discovered that the two young girls who committed this crime were schizophrenic. And that's the whole reason why they thought Slenderman was following them and telling them to do these things. Or maybe that's just what they want us to think.